The main character Chu Qing awakens in a bedroom with a mysterious woman on top of him. Astonished by the situation, he leaps from the bed in complete shock. The woman notes how the drug she used on him wore off faster than she had expected. Qing then fathoms that he may have been reborn and then recalls his 300-year life as a cultivator. His initial goal was to become a sword cultivator and reach the realm of eternity. However, he failed and supposedly reincarnated back to when he was 17 years old on Earth. Back to the situation at hand, Qing is perplexed as to whom the woman is and what she wants with him. The woman tries to coax Qing to get back in bed with her, but he refuses as he tries to get dressed and leave. The woman, revealing her name to be Yi Chenxi, refuses to let him go. However, Qing acts recalcitrant and tries to leave, so Chenxi grabs Qing by his right arm to stop him. In retaliation, Qing uses his cultivator powers to escape her grasp, which he also notes has weakened severely. Free from Chenxi's grasp, Qing takes his remaining clothes and escapes. With Qing gone, Chenxi notes his caliber but denounces that he'll be gone for long and that soon she'll have him once again in her grasp. Finally free and elated by the fact that he can see his family after 300 years, he realizes the world around him has changed drastically. A history book from the Tianjin Library reveals that in ancient times, an unknown cataclysm made women stronger and smarter. Later, a powerful woman named Kong Mo developed the ideology that women are superior to men, causing the change in imperial power from prince to princess. Although in modern times the ideology has since changed, it still exists and is fairly dominant as the roles have reversed. After reading the book, Qing is befuddled by the world's ideology. When Qing returns home, he greets his father Lin Yuantu with a big hug. Yuantu is startled by his son, as he should be in school, and scolds him for being with a woman by the smell of perfume coming from him. Yuantu informs Qing about a 15-year-old boy who believed his classmate was raped and the video of it was spread, claiming that the boy has no future. Yuantu then shows his worry by telling Qing to be more wary of girls. Eager to change the subject, Qing asks about his mother Tiannan, who Yuantu claims is out on business as business isn't going well. Learning about his mother's whereabouts, Qing decides it's time to eat and goes to get his sister Xiao. Upon entering Zhao's room, Qing sees his sister looking at porn. He freaks out and calls his sister out for doing such an uncouth thing. Xiao brushes it off, claiming it's a natural pastime. Afterward, Xiao informs her father and brother that she's going out to eat with some friends and asks her father for 1,000 yuan. When Yuantu questions why she needs to go out, Xiao claims it's to socialize with her friends. Begrudgingly, Yuantu allows Xiao to go with the money, but not before giving her a piece of his mind. Xiao, however, doesn't care and leaves. Qing then asks his father if it's alright to let her go, to which he answers it's only natural and that he should just forget about it. At that moment, Tiannan arrives and Qing greets her with a hug. Figuring her son is unhappy by a paltry allowance, Tiannan gives her son some money. Left speechless by this act, as typically his mother was a stingy money grubber. Qing then tries to return it, but his mother denies taking it back. Curious as to know where Xiao is, Yuantu snaps that she should not be mentioned. Tiannan figures she's out fooling around again and that one day she'll have to learn how to be responsible. Yuantu then sits next to his wife and agrees as the two enjoy each other's company. As this goes on, Qing tries to analyze what he's seeing. Continuing to witness how his parents act, Qing fathoms how his future may be and internally vomits. Qing then heads into his room and looks around. He reflects on the world's perspective on male and female attitudes and believes with his good looks he should do fine. Looking in his desk drawer, Qing finds an abundance of love letters, astounding him. Adamant to escape the world he's in and open a hole back to his own world, Qing meditates on his bed to recover the power he lost in the Hall of Space and Time. Soon his golden freedom, Ji Dao, sharpens and after testing it, he learns that his sister hasn't returned home. Qing then gets a phone call from his sister, who tells him that she's in trouble and to not alert the police or their parents. Qing asks Xiao what happened. Xiao, on the other hand, dodges the question and informs him to bring a black bag underneath her bed. A woman intervenes and claims that if Qing wants to see his sister again he needs to bring the bag to a specific location. Qing acquiesces and heads to the location while vowing vengeance against those who mess with his family. Upon arriving at the bar, Qing delivers the bag and demands his sister be released. Checking out Ching, the woman starts to hit on him, but Ching retorts with a blunt remark. The woman then opens up the back, and inside is a bunch of US bills of various values. Xiao is astonished by the contents of the bag, claims that all she was doing was looking after it for her friend Lin Xiaowan. The woman claims that she knows that Xiao didn't steal from her and curses Xiaowan. Sick and tired of Xiao's presence, the woman tells her to scram, but orders Qing to stay. Xiao defends her brother and demands that he goes too. The woman laughs and claims that she should stay instead, as their business isn't over yet. Xiao agrees to stay and reassures her brother that she'll be alright. Qing, however, stands up for himself and retaliates by smacking the woman to the ground. Enraged, the woman tries to punch him, but Qing counters. Intrigued by the strength of the women of that world, the woman orders her lackeys to attack. Qing then uses a special spin move to KO the two lackeys and sequentially tries to leave, only to be stopped by the woman. Wielding a gun, the woman threatens to shoot the two. Xiao tries to reason with her, but Qing is more than willing to go on the offensive. At that moment, Shensi arrives with two bodyguards. Shensi is elated to see Qing, and when Qing questions her presence, she claims she owns the place. The woman, whose name is revealed to be Zhou Yun, is excused, but Jun rebuts that Chenix is breaking the rules. Showing her dominance, Shensi orders her two bodyguards to sever her hands and feet and toss them into a river, but then decides to only do one of each. With Yun out of the picture, Shensi asks if Qing liked her present, to which Qing inquires if she was really acting kind. Shensi tells him that she is willing to show kindness to someone different from the others, and proclaims that Qing will be her 36th boyfriend. With his refusal, Shensi states that with a body like his, he could become Zhou's prostitute. In defense, Qing disparages Shensi's strength, which leads to a contest of strength between the two. The two set their conditions and later hold the contest in a restaurant setting. Although Qing is surprised by her strength, he ultimately wins. Before leaving with his sister, Qing enforces that Shensi uphold her side of the bargain. Although provoked, Shensi allows him to leave. When one of her bodyguards claims that she should go after him, Shensi smacks her and claims she hasn't lost to him yet. She then openly declares to Qing that if he becomes her husband, no other woman in Jinmen would dare lay their hands on him. This leads to a brief debate between the two, in which Qing remains obstinate against Shensi's logic and eventually leaves with his sister. Impressed by Qing's gall, Shensi declares she won't let him go. One of the bodyguards reminds Shensi of her curfew, but she brushes it off. While walking home, Qing and Xiao discuss the recent events, but Qing gets irritated when Xiao brings up marriage with Shensi. Back at home, Qing cultivates his power again and regrettably eavesdrops on his sister doing inappropriate things on her computer. The following day at school, Qing meets his old friend, Lin Dong, who runs toward him in an effeminate fashion. Dong's effeminate worrying turns Qing straight off and he leaves him in a haste. Noticeably depressed, the class president Oren checks up on him. Qing claims that he's only fatigued due to hunger. Oren then offers to have lunch together but is suddenly pushed aside by some ugly woman. The woman starts to hit on Qing, but he knocks her down. Agitated, the woman tries to retaliate, but is stopped by another classmate named Ji Mao. Mao tells the woman to buzz off and she does so begrudgingly. Mao takes Qing to the school rooftop, where he apologizes about his sister Chensi's actions toward him in the day prior. It's revealed that on the day Qing woke up from the bedroom with Chensi on top of him, he received a ride home from her. On their way home, Chensi drugged him with a water bottle laced with a sleeping agent. Qing tells Mao to not worry about it and the two head back in the school. After school, Chensi offers Qing a ride home. Though Qing refuses, Chensi strikes a nerve when she threatens his family. Qing gets in the car and Chensi compliments him for obeying. Unfazed, he tells her she's made a mistake in threatening his family, but Chensi tries to claim it wasn't a threat. Unconvinced by the comment, Qing believes that it would down the line become true, and he breaks a crystal ornament hanging in her car and gets on top of her to warn her. The two settle things out and decide to be friends. Chensi then suddenly brings up the topic of old martial arts, curious to know if Qing is a practicer of it. Qing reminds her that there's no way any man could cultivate in this world, and Chensi believes he is hiding a secret. Out of nowhere, a truck crashes into their car and Qing shields most of the impact. After escaping with Chensi, he finds a mob of women armed with melee weapons blocking their path. Chensi threatens the ambushers who then attack her and Ching. The duo retaliates against the ambushers and wins against them. In the aftermath, Chensi compliments Ching for his work, but he downplays it. Chensi offers a dinner date with Ching, but he refuses. At that moment, Chensi gets a call from someone who informs her that her mother is in serious condition. Trying to not get himself involved in the ordeal, Ching notes that the underground world of Gene Men will be shaken. An emotional Chensi reveals to Ching that if her mother dies, her Aunt Yimei will take over. Ching reassures Chensi that everything will be alright and that he'll accompany her back home. Confused as to why she feels so reassured by Ching's words, Chensi hugs him. That night, the two in changed outfits arrive at Yi family's mansion. There, a subordinate informs them of the current situation. Apparently, Chensi's aunt has assumed control of the mansion and will only allow Chensi to see her mother. After Chensi informs the nasty rumors surrounding her aunt to Ching, the two head to the mansion, but are stopped by two guards. The guards state that Ching cannot enter, but Ching claims that he's a doctor and is there to examine her. Internally, Ching decides to use his otherworld medicine knowledge to good use. While the two guards question his ability to be a doctor, Ching demonstrates his skill by accurately diagnosing the two's intestinal problems. Convinced, the guards let them through the gate, but they are immediately greeted by Chensi's aunt and cousin Yi Meyer. A provoked Chensi demands to see her mother, but her aunt Mei acts coy and notes the hierarchy between them. She also reminds her that their family does not accept men, but Chensi defends him as a doctor that is here to help her mother. Mei questions his authenticity, as a few days prior, he was just someone she brought home. To test Ching's caliber, Mei has him face against her daughter Meyer. The challenge was a furtive ploy set up by Mei to have Chensi lose her cool when Chang loses against Meyer. This would cause Chensi to attack Meyer in a fit of rage, thereby breaking the family rules. Meyer asks Ching to promise her that they will have sex for a night upon her victory. Triggered by the comment, Chensi voices her disdain for Meyer's condition, but Ching calms her down. At that moment, Meyer launches a surprise kick, which Ching defends against and he knocks her out with a single punch. Rushing to her daughter's aid, Mei chastises Ching, but Chensi defends his actions. The two then enter the mansion, but not before Mei gives a snide remark. Inside the mansion, the two meet another aunt of Chensi. She informs the two of her mother's current situation and the two finally see the bedridden Ching Mei. Curious as to whom Ching is, he answers that he's a doctor and asks to see her wounds. Before he's allowed the courtesy, Ching Mei asks to spend a minute with her daughter, so Ching is escorted out of the room. Chensi implores her mother Ching Mei be examined by Ching. Although hesitant at first, Ching Mei requests that she and Ching be alone after Ching accurately deduces her ailment. With Chensi out of the room, Ching Mei demands to know if Ching was sent by the Li family and what plans he has for her daughter. Ching answers her question honestly, gaining Ching Mei's trust as she allows him to see her ailment. On Ching Mei's back are 5 black dots in a cross-shaped pattern, and he notes that within 5 days her internal organs will be destroyed. Using his spiritual power, Ching manages to absorb one of the malignant dots. Feeling better after her treatment, Ching Mei offers something in return for his services, but Ching claims he did it because Chensi is his friend, which amuses Ching Mei. Outside the mansion, Chensi thanks Ching for helping her mother and offers herself to him. Rejecting Chensi's kind offer, Ching takes a taxi home. En route, Ching notes how inadequate his power is to be able to eradicate the curse. The next day, Ching watches as a crowd of boys watching star basketball player Tang Zian dunk the ball into the hoop. Ching recalls how Zian was his first love, but snaps himself out of that notion as she's a different Zian from the world he's from. As he tries to walk away, Zian stops him and asks him if she knows him. Ching claims that they're from the same school, so they certainly crossed paths before, but she tells him she wasn't referring to that. Internally, Ching notes that even in this world she's curious about him. Zian drops the subject, but then asks Ching if he's interested in learning how to play basketball. Ching snatches the basketball from Zian's grasp and challenges her. She agrees and gives the condition that if she wins he'll become her boyfriend. In turn, if she loses, she'll do whatever Chang wants her to do. A large crowd gathers around the basketball court, and once the game begins, Zian instantly scores a basket. Zian then proclaims that she won't play lightly.